An island where penguins outnumber people. Have you ever heard of an island where penguins outnumber people? Sounds like something from a children's fairy tale, right? But it's real, and it's right here in Aussie land, Australia. In today's video, we're diving into Phillip Island, one of the most extraordinary spots in the country. Not only is it home to stunning landscapes and beautiful beaches, but it also has one of the world's largest colonies of little penguins. Yes, penguins, those adorable, tuxedo-wearing, waddling little creatures you normally imagine in Antarctica. But here in Australia, we've got them living right alongside us. And before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more incredible Aussie tales. And drop a comment below if you've ever been to Phillip Island, or if you've had a funny or memorable encounter with penguins anywhere in the world. I'd love to hear your stories. Alright, let's waddle right into it. Phillip Island is located in Victoria, about 90 minutes drive from Melbourne. It's a small island just over 100 square kilometers in size, but don't let its size fool you. It's packed with wildlife, natural beauty, and some very surprising stats. The human population on Phillip Island is around 14,000 permanent residents. But the penguin population? Over 32,000. That means for every person there are at least 2 penguins. Imagine walking to the shops and realizing the locals with the best suits in town are actually the birds waddling by your feet. But how did this penguin paradise come to be? To understand that, we need to step back and look at the little penguin itself. Known scientifically as Eudyptula minor, these are the world's smallest species of penguins. They only grow to about 30 centimeters tall, which makes them not much taller than a ruler you'd use in school. And while other penguin species live in icy environments, the little penguin is perfectly suited to the temperate climate of southern Australia and New Zealand. Phillip Island's coastline provides them with safe nesting areas, abundant food supply, and a relatively predator-free environment. Well, except for the occasional fox, which we'll talk about later. Every evening at sunset, something truly magical happens: the penguin parade. Thousands of tourists gather on the beach, quietly waiting as the little penguins return from their day of fishing at sea. One by one, they start to appear on the shoreline, grouping together nervously before making their dash across the sand to their burrows. It's both adorable and slightly comical because they sometimes trip, hesitate, or even run back into the water if they get spooked. It's like watching nature's cutest comedy show, but it's 100% real. Now, if you're wondering why the penguins wait until evening to come ashore, it's because they're avoiding predators. During the day, gulls, eagles, and other birds of prey could easily spot them. But under the cover of twilight, the penguins have a safer chance of making it back to their burrows undetected. Clever little tuxedo wearers, aren't they? Phillip Island hasn't always been this friendly to penguins, though. Back in the 20th century, human activity posed serious threats to the colony. There was habitat destruction, introduced predators like foxes and stray cats, and even land development. At one point, the penguin population was in danger of collapsing. But the community, together with conservationists, took major steps to protect them. One of the boldest moves was the decision to buy back housing estates that had been built on penguin habitat. Yes, you heard that right, people's homes were actually bought and removed so the penguins could reclaim their land. Imagine being told, "Sorry mate, your new neighbor in a tuxedo needs this place more than you." And it worked. With safe nesting grounds restored and a fox eradication program in place, the penguin population bounced back. Today, Phillip Island is a global model of how wildlife and humans can coexist successfully. But Phillip Island isn't only about penguins. The island is also home to other incredible wildlife. You've got colonies of fur seals lounging on the rocks, koalas hanging out in the trees, and more than 200 species of birds. For nature lovers, it's basically paradise. But let's be honest, the penguins still steal the show. The economic impact of these penguins is huge as well. The penguin parade alone attracts more than 500,000 visitors every year. People come from all over the world just to watch this nightly spectacle. That makes it one of the most popular wildlife attractions in all of Australia. And here's a funny little fact. The penguins actually bring more money into the local economy than some entire industries in the region. Who knew waddling could be so profitable? Now let's talk about the daily life of these penguins. Little penguins spend most of their day at sea, hunting for food. They eat small fish, squid, and other marine creatures. On average, they can dive as deep as 60 meters, holding their breath for up to a minute. That's pretty impressive for such small birds. They return to their burrows in the evening where they take turns incubating eggs, feeding chicks, or just chilling out with their partners. Yes, penguins are romantics, they often mate for life. So when you see two penguins waddling together, chances are they're a committed couple. Another funny fact: penguins are surprisingly noisy. When they gather in their colonies, they sound like a mix between a donkey and a car alarm. If you thought seagulls were loud, wait until you hear a colony of penguins calling out to each other at night. It's both chaotic and charming at the same time. And here's where the story gets even more interesting. Phillip Island's penguin population is not just a tourist attraction, it's also a major scientific research site. Researchers have been monitoring the penguins for decades, using everything from microchips to drones to study their behavior, migration, and breeding patterns. The data collected here has helped scientists understand the broader impacts of climate change, overfishing, and ocean health. So these penguins aren't just cute, they're playing a vital role in science. But of course, life on Phillip Island isn't just about penguins. Let's not forget the human side of the story. With just 14,000 residents, Phillip Island has a close-knit community vibe. Many locals are deeply connected to the wildlife around them. For some, their daily commute might involve waiting for penguins to cross the road. Yes, there are penguin crossing signs on the island. Imagine explaining to your boss, "Sorry I'm late, but there was a penguin traffic jam." That's a very Aussie excuse if you ask me. Tourism has shaped much of the island's identity. From surf beaches like Woolamai Beach to the famous MotoGP motorcycle race held at the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit, there's always something happening. But no matter what, the penguins remain the star attraction. Even the MotoGP riders can't compete with a parade of thousands of tiny tuxedoed birds marching across the sand. Now let's sprinkle in a few surprising facts that will really make you appreciate just how special this place is. Did you know that the penguins on Phillip Island all look the same to us, but they actually recognize each other by unique calls? To the human ear it's just noise, but to penguins it's like calling each other by name. It's their version of yelling, "Oi mate," across the beach. Also, penguin chicks have to grow up fast. Within just a couple of months they're already heading out to sea on their own. No learner's permit, no practice runs, just straight into the big blue ocean. Talk about being thrown in the deep end. For visitors, one of the most memorable experiences is seeing the dedication to keeping the penguins safe. Strict rules are in place: no photography with flash, no loud noises, and no interfering with the birds. It's about respect and coexistence. And it's refreshing to see humans putting wildlife first for once. But the funny side of Phillip Island penguins doesn't end there. Every so often you'll hear stories of penguins wandering into unusual places. One little guy was once spotted under a car in a parking lot, another waddled into a shed, and there have even been rescue missions for penguins stuck in storm drains. They may be small, but they sure know how to get themselves into big trouble. Someone planning a trip here, penguins remind us of the delicate balance between nature and humans. They're proof that conservation efforts can succeed when we put in the work. And they show that sometimes, the most extraordinary wonders aren't on the other side of the world, they're right here in our own backyard. If you've ever been to Phillip Island, you know the magic of watching the penguins waddle up the beach. And if you haven't yet, maybe this video has inspired you to put it on your travel list. Either way, I'd love for you to share your thoughts in the comments. Have you had a penguin encounter before? Did you find them as adorable and noisy as I described? Let me know below. And don't forget, subscribe to Australia Tales for more stories like this. We've got plenty of incredible, surprising, and yes, sometimes funny Aussie tales coming your way. So the next time you think of penguins, don't just imagine Antarctica. Think of Phillip Island, where the penguins outnumber the people and every night they put on the cutest parade in the world.